Reagan from Holistic Liberty at holisticliberty.net. I'm currently studying. I need to renew my massage therapy license this year. And I got a new addition. Massage therapists, along with many other professions, now have to take a class in sex trafficking. And apparently, uh, in order to renew the license. Last time I renewed my license, I had to register my fingerprints with the FBI. And I guess shortly after I got my license renewed, they came up with this law that massage therapists and other professions have to take classes in sex trafficking because it's uh, an unfortunate reality that we have to deal with. The other thing is, it seems like things are becoming more and more complicated to renew even a driver's license. Now, I'm aware that my son was trying to get a driver's permit. Just having his birth certificate, his Texas ID wasn't good enough. He had to actually have mail sent to him within, I don't know, 30 days or something like that. That was either something from the government or utility that is not paid online but paid by mail, like utility companies send you mail, and a lot of people do their stuff online in order to be able to take the test. They're making it much more difficult nowadays. Now, a lot of people don't have utility bills. People live in rent-free apartments. Of course, then their names would be on that, but he lives with my mother, and now I live with my mother. um I don't know. My boyfriend is trying to get his driver's license renewed, and they informed him he had to have his birth certificate. I had to have mine in 2020. So anybody who wants to say it's a Biden thing, in 2020 Trump was in charge. It's more of a state thing, which is not either president. Um, and I fortunately found out about it in advance, and I had to order my birth certificate because I come from a different state. Well, Bill had his original, and he had it in his wallet sometime, and all this and that, and so he been waiting a couple months. He didn't know where he put it, but he figured it was in storage, and he found it. He went down there. Now, if it wasn't complicated enough, he tried to make the appointment after 7:30. Goes down there, finds out he doesn't have an appointment because if you make it after 7:30, you can't get an appointment until August, and this is now March. But if you make it before 7:30, you can have the appointment that day. It's just weird. So he went down again. Then, they said that his birth certificate wasn't valid because it didn't have a stamp on it. Well, it originally did, but after so many years, it kind of rubbed out. So he had to go get a birth certificate. Well, he went to get a birth certificate, and they went down there and they made him an appointment for 10 o'clock, which was 2 hours away. And there were 20 other people who had a 10 o'clock appointment. So he had to wait on that. And they're making it more and more difficult. Well, I recently also heard, at least in Ohio, maybe here in Texas, if it hasn't reached Texas yet, that since I've gotten my license renewed in 2020, now anybody who's had a name change has to provide proof of that name change and how they got it. Now, they can't say women, you know, because then that would be sexist, but for the most part, it's usually women that do. Women get married, they take on their husband's last names, and some women have been married more than once. And apparently, I could be wrong on this, they have to provide proof of all name changes. Well, not everybody carries that around. And that would be difficult for me because even though I have my late husband's, it wasn't a death certificate, but it was a record of death. And because he was put in a body farm, and they don't do death certificates, but they send you a record of death, but it's just about the same thing. Um, I don't know where it is right now. I have our marriage certificate, don't know where it is right now. And I believe I have my divorce papers from my ex-husband that was kept here. I think. I hope I don't have to go through all this, but it just seems like, okay, this is aiming. They can't come out right out and say women. I mean, men have name changes too, for various reasons. Um, and particularly gay men may get married and hyphenate their names, their last names, but mostly it's women. And the say it's to prevent fraud. Well, here's the thing. To me, if I didn't, I mean, we know the real reason behind it, but let's erase that. It says to me that they are so incompetent that they can't get on a computer and look up the information themselves. That they cannot obtain that information themselves. They should be able to obtain it a lot faster than we can. They should be able to punch in our names and obtain that information. This is all government stuff. It should all be linked together. And it's just saying, are they that incompetent? They can't do that? No. What it is, it's make it difficult for people to get identification. And when it becomes difficult to get identification, there are a few other things that becomes difficult to do as well. Think about it. Who, statistically, who do women usually vote for? Statistically. And the thing is it also bites those who vote the other way, because they also have to go through the same thing that we're going through. That's the way it looks to me. But it's really biting everybody in the butt. Now, I'm an independent. I care more about what the person, if they're a benefit or if they're going to harm, their district, the state, the country, than I do what party. But I think we really need to start thinking about this. We really need to start opening our eyes to what's going on. And we really need to start voting in accordance to that and not in accordance to party.